When people think of World War II films, Hollywood blockbusters usually come to mind. But what if I told you that some of the greatest war movies ever made didn't come from America at all? Britain produced masterpieces filled with raw emotion, breathtaking battles, and unforgettable performances, films that many Americans have completely overlooked. These are not just movies, they're powerful pieces of history captured on screen. From the icy seas to daring escape stories, each film brings a new perspective on courage and sacrifice. So stick around to films Americans ignore. And if you're a true lover of classic war cinema, don't forget to subscribe for more hidden gems from history. Number 1. The Bridge on the River Kwai, 1957. The Bridge on the River Kwai is perhaps the most famous British WWII film, though many Americans forget it's rooted in British history. Directed by David Lean and starring Alec Guinness, it follows British POWs forced by the Japanese to build a railway bridge in Burma. Guinness's Oscar-winning performance as Colonel Nicholson shows the clash between pride, duty, and obsession. The film questions whether honor can become as destructive as war itself. Its sweeping cinematography, psychological tension, and unforgettable ending make it one of the greatest war films ever made. While Hollywood often glorifies battlefield heroics, this British masterpiece highlights the psychological cost of war. Anyone serious about WWII cinema cannot ignore it. And if you're enjoying these hidden classics, don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories you've been missing. Number 2. The Dam Busters, 1955. The Dam Busters tells the incredible true story of Operation Chastise, where the RAF launched a daring mission to blow up German dams using revolutionary bouncing bombs. Directed by Michael Anderson, it stars Richard Todd as Wing Commander Guy Gibson and Michael Redgrave as the eccentric inventor Barnes Wallis. The tense build-up, brilliant strategy, and breathtaking aerial sequences made it a defining British war film. Even more fascinating, this film directly inspired George Lucas's Star Wars trench run, proving its influence went beyond WWII cinema. While Americans often overlook it, in Britain it remains a national treasure. The film captures the ingenuity and bravery of the RAF with authenticity that few Hollywood movies can match. Watching it feels like stepping back into history. For more hidden gems like this, remember to subscribe to the channel. Number 3. A Matter of Life and Death, 1946. A Matter of Life and Death, directed by Michael Powell and Emer Pressburger, is one of the most unique WWII films ever made. It blends war, romance, and fantasy in a way Hollywood rarely attempted. Starring David Niven as RAF pilot Peter Carter, the film follows him after he miraculously survives a plane crash and falls in love with an American radio operator. But in the afterlife, officials argue his survival was a mistake, forcing him into a celestial trial. Beyond its love story, it's a profound reflection on sacrifice, war's toll, and Anglo-American relations. The Technicolor visuals were groundbreaking, and the film's message about life, death, and love in wartime still resonates. Americans largely missed its genius, but in Britain it became a cultural landmark. If you love unique war stories, don't forget to subscribe. Number 4. In Which We Serve, 1942. Directed by Noel Coward and David Lean, In Which We Serve is one of Britain's most heartfelt World War II films. Inspired by the real-life exploits of Lord Mountbatten, it tells the story of the crew of HMS Torrin, a British destroyer sunk during the war. Noel Coward not only co-directed, but also starred, giving a moving performance that reflected the nation's spirit. Unlike flashy Hollywood productions, this film focuses on the ordinary sailors and their families, highlighting sacrifice, resilience, and loyalty. It was made during the war itself, which gives it an authenticity and urgency few films can match. For British audiences, it wasn't just a movie, it was a source of morale. Yet Americans often overlooked it, preferring more glamorous war epics. This is a reminder of the human cost of war told through a distinctly British lens. Number 5. Went the Day Well, 1942. Went the Day Well is a chilling and unusual British war film directed by Alberto Cavalcanti. Set in a quiet English village, it tells the story of German paratroopers disguised as British soldiers who infiltrate the town. At first, villagers welcome them, but soon realize the horrifying truth. What follows is a gripping tale of betrayal, courage, and survival. Made during World War II, the film served as both a warning and propaganda piece, showing that the enemy could strike anywhere. Its suspenseful storytelling and brutal realism shocked audiences at the time, with scenes of violence rarely seen in 1940s cinema. While Hollywood focused on distant battlefields, this film brought the war into the heart of Britain. For many Americans, it remains unknown, but in Britain it's considered a wartime classic that's still unsettling today.
6. The Cruel Sea, 1953. The Cruel Sea, based on Nicholas Montserrat's novel, is one of the most authentic portrayals of naval warfare in World War II. Directed by Charles Friend, it stars Jack Hawkins as a Royal Navy officer commanding a corvette in the Battle of the Atlantic. Unlike many war films, this one doesn't glorify combat, it emphasizes the harshness of the sea itself, which is often a greater enemy than the Germans. The film's stark realism, from the terrifying U-boat hunts to the sacrifices made by sailors, gives it incredible emotional weight. Jack Hawkins' performance as Captain Erickson is unforgettable, showing both the strength and loneliness of command. Americans often overlook this film, but it remains a British classic that deeply honors the Navy's contribution to the war. If you're drawn to powerful sea stories, you can't miss this masterpiece. 8. Ice Cold in Alex, 1958. Ice Cold in Alex is a gripping British war film set during the North African Campaign. Directed by J. Lee Thompson, it stars John Mills as Captain Anson, who must lead a group, including a nurse and 2 soldiers, through the desert to safety. The film brilliantly captures not just the danger of enemy attacks, but the brutality of the desert itself. Exhaustion, thirst, and mistrust weigh heavily on the characters. One of its most iconic moments comes at the end, when the survivors finally enjoy an ice-cold beer in Alexandria, a reward that became legendary in cinema history. The film's realism and psychological depth set it apart from American desert war films, making it uniquely British. Although less known in the US, it remains a masterpiece of endurance and humanity. 9. The Wooden Horse, 1950. The Wooden Horse is a true story of ingenuity and courage during World War II. Directed by Jack Lee, it tells the tale of British prisoners of war in Stalag Lucht III, who devised a brilliant escape plan. They built a wooden vaulting horse, carried it daily to the prison yard, and while men exercised on it, others secretly tunneled beneath. This daring escape inspired later classics like The Great Escape, but Americans rarely acknowledge the original British story. The film's strength is in its simplicity and authenticity, capturing the resourcefulness of POWs under impossible conditions. Starring Leo Genn and Anthony Steele, it honors the quiet heroism of men who refuse to give up hope. While Hollywood made bigger, flashier escape films, this one remains a British gem that deserves far more recognition. 10. Dunkirk, 1958. Before Christopher Nolan's blockbuster, Britain had already made a powerful Dunkirk film in 1958. Directed by Leslie Norman, it stars John Mills and Richard Attenborough, capturing the desperate evacuation of Allied troops from the French